In a village tucked away in the countryside, there lived a young girl named. She was a kind-hearted and gentle soul, always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need. However, lived with her stepmother and step-siblings, who treated her more like a servant than a member of the family. S. stepmother, Mrs. Smith, was a bitter woman who resented S. presence in the house. She had 2 children of her own, Brian and Emily, who were spoiled and selfish. They took pleasure in making S' life miserable, forcing her to do all the household chores while they lounged around. One day, a royal proclamation arrived in the village, inviting all the young maidens to attend a grand ball at the palace. S' step-siblings were overjoyed at the opportunity to meet the prince, but knew she would never be allowed to go. She watched as they spent hours selecting the most elegant gowns and practicing their dance moves. As the day of the ball drew near, S' step-siblings became even more cruel. They taunted her, telling her she was not worthy of attending such a prestigious event. Retreated to the kitchen, tears streaming down her face. Suddenly, a soft voice spoke to her. The mouse introduced itself as Prince Charming, a magical creature who had been watching from afar. He told her that he could grant her one wish, and without hesitation, asked for a beautiful gown and a carriage to take her to the ball. On the night of the ball, stepped out of her shabby clothes and into the stunning blue gown. She looked like a true princess, and Prince Charming's heart skipped a beat when he saw her. They danced the night away, and felt like she was living in a dream. But as the clock struck midnight, remembered Prince Charming's warning that the magic would only last until midnight. She rushed out of the ballroom, leaving behind a single glass slipper. The prince searched the entire kingdom for the maiden who fit the slipper, determined to find his true love. Meanwhile, back at S' home, her step-siblings were furious that she had attended the ball. They demanded to know how she had managed it, and tearfully confessed about her encounter with Prince Charming. Suddenly, Mrs. Smith's face turned pale, and she whispered a dark secret. Mrs. Smith revealed that she had once been married to Prince Charming's father but had been banished from the palace for her wicked ways. She had changed her identity and married S' father, hoping to get revenge on the royal family. Was shocked to learn the truth but knew that forgiveness was the only way to set things right. Decided to confront Prince Charming and tell him the truth about her stepmother's past. She hoped that he would find it in his heart to forgive her family and allow them to start anew. With the glass slipper in hand, set off to find her prince. In the end, Prince Charming listened to S' story and saw the sincerity in her eyes. He forgave her family and welcomed them back into the palace with open arms. S' step-siblings realized the error of their ways and promised to change. From that day forward, they all lived happily ever after, bound together by the power of forgiveness.